once again, everybody. I'm Jake Senholz, and I'm joined once again by the head coach of the Wausau RiverWolves, Colin Bailey. And Coach, it's been a while since we've talked. We haven't talked since I think the first or second week of October. It has been a while. I know you were pretty sick between then and now. Are you feeling better?
Feeling much better. I had a stomach bug for a day or two, and of course it happened to be the time when we were supposed to be interviewing. But you know, that happens in a long season, so we're back at it.
Yep, that's all right. Exactly, right back at it. Yep. So we'll dive right into it. This past weekend, an incredibly tough matchup against a really good opponent in Granite City. Weren't able to get either one of those games to go your way, but overall, the past 4 games, only 1 goal as a team over 4 games. What have you seen that's kind of been causing these offensive struggles?
Yeah, you know, obviously that's not where we want to be seeing from any game. You know, 1 goal in 4 games is just unacceptable either way you cut it. You know, I mean, this past weekend was, you know, it's a tough weekend. You know, Granite City is exceptional from top to bottom. You know, as an organization, they played a Division III NCAA team the past week in an exhibition game and only lost 2-1. So I mean, looking at that, that's a tough matchup for us to get some offensive pressure. But you know, we are generating offensive opportunities, I think, right now, and it's just a case of we're just snake bit. And you know, and the more that the boys aren't scoring, the more frustration, the more pressure I think that they're putting on themselves to find the back of the net. And you know, the more you translate that to life, the more that you focus on something happening, you know, more pressure that you're putting yourself on, you know, onto yourself, least likely things are going to happen. So I mean, what we did in practice today is just getting the boys to find that confidence, you know, where you know they're gripping the stick too tight here, and you know, just putting too much pressure to find that back of the net. It's just, you know, getting things going to find, you know, confidence in scoring, you know, getting excited for those goals and just having them, you know, constantly trying to find the back of the net and just, you know, getting them to relax a little bit more, to get over that mental hump of just, you know, getting the puck in the back of the net.
Yeah, relax, play some hockey. You hear it a lot in hockey, but just play your game.
Yeah,
it does kind of sound cliche, but it's so true in so many different assets and factors of the game. And goal scoring, too, is kind of something that once you get it back, maybe the floodgates are going to kind of start to open. You know, you're just struggling right now, but once you get a few of them under the belt, or maybe a good game where you put 3, 4, 5 into the net, and that's all it's going to take.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, right now you're on a bit of a dry spell.
Yeah, it's not for lack of talent by any means. No. I mean, we have some very exceptional forwards here, and we are generating some good opportunities. You know, we're not just getting shots from the perimeter. We are generating some opportunities from that house area in the slot, and it's just getting the capitalization on those opportunities.
Yeah, so you mentioned you haven't played a home game since October 11th. You've been on the road. It's been quite a while. You put a lot of miles on this team already, but you guys get to come back home now. You play 13 of your next 17 games at home. Like, how encouraging is that, or how good does that feel to know you got this long homestand coming up?
Very good. You know, I mean, the road trips are great. You know, I mean, good for the beginning of the season, get the camaraderie together. You know, so far we haven't done too great on the road. I don't know, you know, it's just the boys are kind of out of their element, and that's something that we've been improving on. And as Jaden and Casey had mentioned earlier, you know, this past weekend our preparation has been better than it has been, you know, in any weekend, you know, going into against a fantastic team like Granite. You know, weekend prior, preparation was much better than that before. So we just keep getting better as far as that goes, and really maintaining our focus and staying positive throughout those road trips. But so far our home games have been some of our best games, you know, although there's only been 3 of them. But that's, you know, being able to, you know, stay in our element and play in front of a great hometown crowd is, you know, very encouraging, and I know the boys are really looking forward to, you know, getting off the road and being able to play at home.
And another thing that goes along with now being back at home is you've now seen most of these teams already this season, so this will be the second and third time and moving forward that you're going to be playing a lot of these teams such as Peoria, Rochester, Cooley Region, St. Louis. Like, you've already have seen them, so now with these games coming up where you get to face them at home, is there going to be a little bit difference in preparation or the way that you guys not necessarily scout this team but prepare for this team, and now that you know what team is going to be coming into the rink?
Yes and no. I mean, we do a lot of film, and we do go over the, you know, what to expect from other teams, but you know, obviously film only does so much, and you can only get so much of a feel from another team by watching them so many times. But once you get to play them in live action, you know, you really get a much better feel and, you know, much better expectation of what to see from them. So I think that's going to be very good. And you know, I mean, aside from, you know, our Peoria game, we didn't play very well at all, and but other than that, I mean, we've been competing well with these teams, and you know, up until the third period, which was that's a whole other story. You know, we've been, you know, neck and neck with a lot of these teams, and we got over that intimidation factor, and now it's just kind of the mental knowing that we can compete with all these teams in this league, and give them a game, and come out and just play our game and keep doing what we're doing, and good things will happen, and that helps a lot too with confidence wise, seeing knowing what we're going into.
In that third period, I did talk to Coach Smolovich a little bit about that and past struggles, so we don't have to bring him up again, but that is something you're going to want to watch going forward. Maybe lessening the penalties, lessening the goals against in the third period. Those are probably two things that I'm sure you guys have been focused in on with the team. So talk a little bit about goaltending now. Tyler Klatt has been solid for you guys all season long. However, on Friday night against Granite, he allowed seven goals in the first period, which prompted you to play your young goaltender in Joseph LaForge the rest of the weekend. What have you seen out of LaForge?
Yeah, so LaForge has been fantastic. I mean, with Klatt there, he was coming off an injury on the groin, and the 7 goals in the first period, that wasn't on Klatt by any means. He just kind of got hung out to dry, and that was a situation where against a fantastic team like Granite, when any mistake that we make is going to end up in the back of the net, and that's kind of what I told the boys, and that's what happened.
That's true, yeah.
And once after that first period, they really got a wake up call, and fortunately we only let him, only is a kind of a tough thing to say, but only for the rest of the game over 2 periods, so that was much better. But to get LaForge in net there, it was very, very big. That 6'7" frame, he played fantastic. Obviously there was a couple that he should have probably had, but seeing the type of shots that he was seeing and making the saves that he was making against a fantastic team like Granite is just extremely promising. And we weren't intending to get him to start there. That's kind of a daunting environment for him to as a young goaltender, making his first junior appearance. We're kind of interested to see how he responded, and couldn't be happier with how he responded. I thought he did fantastic with that, and hopefully we planned on getting him a start here in Milwaukee this next weekend, and down by his a little bit close to home, being the Kenosha boy. So I think that'll be a special thing for him and his family, and give him some more experience against a very good, what's going to be a good matchup for us in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and that's a good transition because Milwaukee, they were extremely good last year. They were a playoff team. They finished 3rd in the Central Division. This year they're struggling a little bit. They don't have many more wins than you. I think the record is 4-15, if I remember correctly. So this is a team that's beatable. These are wins that you guys should and should be able to get this weekend, and hopefully will. So a little bit about Milwaukee. What have you seen? Obviously, you mentioned a lot of players gone from last year. What have you seen from them this year? Have you been able to watch any tape?
Yep. So this is going to be a very evenly matched game. Both teams have talent. They're just, both of us are just kind of struggling to find our groove there, and they are very well coached by Chase Ernst down there, and but a big strong suit for them is going to be their goaltending. As it was last year, but they brought in 3 solid goalies this year, and I think that's what's really been getting them through a lot of these games. As it has for us. So it's going to be a great matchup, and I know the boys are really chomping at the bits to get at there and prove that these games, they're not a 1-9 team or 1-11 team now, whatever we're at, and I think they're eager to prove that we are coming here every day. Boys aren't losing hope, and regardless of how how we started the season, the boys are eager to turn it around and really get that going, and this is, I think, going to be a catalyst for that this weekend.
I've been saying that as well, and I said it in episode 1 of our Inside the Dead podcast. Like, this team is so much more talented, and you guys are so much better than what your record indicates. And I'm sure that it's going to be much better by the time we reach the end of the season. I'm fully confident we're going to get a bunch of wins coming up in the next month or 2 here.
Hoping so.
Yeah, very good, very much talent all around the ice. Forwards, defensemen, good goaltending. So you guys just got to put it together. And once again, 13 out of 17 games at home. This is a great opportunity to do it.
Great opportunity.
So going to start with hopefully a win this weekend. I know a lot of things have to go right. More than just one thing has got to go right in order to win. But if you had to pick one key this weekend, one thing that you think is going to help you win, what would that key be? Our
forwards have just got to bury the puck, and that's looking at the stats, we have we have the least amount of goals scored in the league, and so that's not for a lack of opportunities, like I had touched on. That's not for a lack of talent, offensive talent whatsoever. It's just getting that monkey off the back, and once we get that monkey off the back, I think it's like you said, the floodgates are going to open. But I think that's going to be a big focus, and that's been a big focus for us the past couple weeks in practice, is just getting that confidence and just making it second nature that when you're shooting, you're shooting with a purpose. You're shooting for shoot. You know, it's cliche, but you're trying to pick the back of the net, but. You know, of course, those cliches, they say it for a reason because it's right? But, so it's just getting that confidence going and getting the boys in that mood to, in that mindset that if I'm touching the puck, I'm getting it on net and I'm shooting to score, not just to shoot.
Well, hopefully that all comes together, and you can see it happen right here on Marathon County Ice this Friday night. It's Military Appreciation Night, so if you or a family member have ever been a member of the military, come on down, and you can get into this weekend's game for free. You can also catch that on Hockey TV. So, Coach, thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
That's head coach of the Wausau RiverWolves, Colin Bailey.